Hello everyone, today I will bring you to a very special differentiation method that is Zangfu Syndrome Differentiation. Zangfu Syndrome Differentiation is used to comprehensively analyze the clinic information which collected by the four diagnostic methods based on the psychologic and pathologic characteristic of the Zangfu organs. From this, we can diagnose the affected Zangfu organs and the nature of their disease. And as we said before, the interior syndrome of 8 principal syndrome mostly refers to the Zangfu Syndrome Differentiation. This differentiation method has a very important position in the overall syndrome differentiation system. The content of Zangfu organ syndrome differentiation is relatively completed system. Therefore, it is a co-syndrome differentiation. The Zangfu organ syndrome differentiation includes both Zang and Fu organ syndrome differentiation, and as well as the co-current Zangfu organ syndrome differentiation. However, the Zang organ syndrome differentiation is a central part of the Zangfu organ syndrome differentiation, because Zang and Fu organ has the special relationship, which we talked a lot in basic series of TCM. No matter the psychological aspect or the pathologic aspects, they are easily affect each other. Additionally, a simple Fu organ syndrome is seldom seen in clinic practice, which is why it is integrated in the Zang syndrome differentiation. Like this photo showing in here, the Zang and Fu are closely linked. The Zang is the main part, so during the clinical practice, we should analyze them into a whole system. Like the hot, small intestinal, we firstly use this picture to review the psycho relationship between them. Because when you know the normal situation, you will find out the abnormal. The hot, small intestinal system could be analyzed through 4 aspects. First one, location. For example, like the chest and the pericardium, where the heart belongs to, so the symptoms or complaints will generally be found in these 2 areas. Second, governors, which means the heart governs the blood and the vessels, and shen, so the abnormal of heart will be happened in the blood production and the circulation level. Also, patient will have the mental issues. 3. Manifestations. As we learned, the tongue is the window of the heart. The face and mouth, sweats, they are all corresponding to heart, which can directly tell the interior situation by color or texture. The main function of the small intestinal is to receive and digest food, so the absorption situation will reflect the small intestinal. 4. The type of syndrome also can classify into excess and deficiency. Check the map. You will find the pathological changes and manifestation of the heart and small intestinal diseases are summarized as follows. Dysfunction in the heart mainly has 2 contents. The first one, abnormal in the blood circulation, generally manifested as the palpitations, chest pain, irregular pulse. In addition, the abnormal mental activities, like insomnia, spiritualness, even consciousness. Meanwhile, the dysfunction of small intestinal will manifest it fails to 升清降浊, which means separating the ancestral nutrients from unusable remains. In order for your guys to master the content of the hard small intestinal syndrome differentiation system, I had listed the detailed syndromes in the chart. In the deficiency part, the yin, yang, qi, blood in heart will all appear deficient, and their common symptom is palpitation, which highlight in red. In clinic, this is the very typical manifestation and complaint of heart syndrome. Beside it, they will combine with location manifestation, like the chest area has the painful, oppressive feeling, and definitely has the mental issues. The representative symptom is insomnia, so we can come to a conclusion. When we differentiate on the series of heart deficiency syndrome, we should remember the 4 aspects which we mentioned before, and focus on the facial complexion, mental, and deficient manifestations. On the contrary, the excess syndrome of heart mostly was caused by the fire. Why is fire? Please review the five-element nature of heart. So, the internal fire or the pathogenic factor turns into fire, and the pathogenic products, like phlegm, all will lead to the excessive manifestation in heart syndrome. The symptoms including the restless, heat effusion, trace of fire burning like the ulcers, red tongue in the mouth. Also, the mental abnormal will more like the confusion, even epilepsies. The small intestine, like we said, it is the Fu organ. The abnormalities mostly belong to the excessive type, manifested as a scanty and brown urine, burning pain during urination, red tongue, and rapid pulse. The second system, I think most of you have guessed it. It is the long, larger intestinal syndrome. We're still using the relationship graph to analyze the lung. As the prime minister of the five zang, the lung also located in the chest area and governs qi and water. So the abnormalities will be found in respiratory system, like the nose, throat, skin, body hair area, and the water metabolism. The larger intestinal governs transmission and sends the solid wastes down and out. So the pathologic manifestation of the long, larger intestinal syndrome will concentrate on the dysfunction of diffusion and dispersion, purification and descent. The top one manifestation is a constant flow of qi, like coughing, panting, chest oppression. As the upper organs, who also in charge of water, the dysfunction of governing regulating of the waterways will manifest as edema, water retention. The larger intestinal's representative symptoms are constipation or diarrhea, which reflects the transmission has been disturbed. The syndrome also including the excessive one and the deficiency one. So, in conclusion, the differentiating in inner organs always need the practitioner take the location of zang and the related organ, tissue, substance, and clinical manifestation, pathogens, nature, all those things together and thinking them in tandem. Because I had took the detailed heart, small intestinal syndrome differentiation as example, so in this chat, there are only some hints in here. About the contents for differentiation of long, larger intestinal syndrome, please, based on the example and hints, describe the key points for differentiation by yourself. And the other three Zangfu systems are same. It is the homework of this chat. Both the spleen and stomach are suited in the middle jaw area and forms as exterior-interior relationship. The spleen governs transportation and transformation, controls the blood, and governs the muscle and forelimbs. The mouth is the window of the spleen. The stomach is the sea of water and grain, governing intaking and decomposition. They too are the source of qi and blood production, and their physiological changes and manifestations will be expressed in digestion, absorption, and distribution, those aspects. As the graph showing here, the symptoms about dysfunction of transportation and transmission of spleen were as follows: abnormal distending or pain, loose stool, poor appetite, and edema. Why edema? Because the spleen is the middle organ which in charge of the water metabolism. Secondly, as the commander of blood, the dysfunction of controlling the blood manifestation as chronic bleeding. Meanwhile, the typical symptom of dysfunction of governing ascending clear will be dizziness, prolapse of internal organs, diarrhea, etc. For stomach, the dysfunction concentrates on failure to reception and digestion, such as poor appetite, belching, nauseous, vomiting, hiccup, etc. And please, according to the reference book, to finish the differentiation of spleen stomach by yourself. Number 4 group, we come to the liver gallbladder system. The liver is located in the right hypochondrial area and the food 厥阴 liver meridian, which moves from the genitals area going through the left abdomen, hypochondria, and up to the top of the head, involving a wide reach. To recapitulate briefly, the liver governs the free flow of qi, adjusting emotions, and dispersing bile, moving blood and body fluids, and it also dominates the storing of blood and regulating blood volume. The eyes and the nails are the window for liver. The gallbladder stores and extracts bile aided in digestion. The gallbladder governs decision-making. Among all the functions of the liver, we know the governance of free flow of qi and adjusting emotions are the main parts. With the location, we can find the distending pain or moving pain in the chest, hypochondria, those areas, and also the lower abdomen and the head. While the depression or irritability were the representative complaint from patients who had liver zang problem. The dysfunction of storing the blood has the same description of modern medical symptoms, like a blurred vision or night blindness, dry eyes, pale nails, scanty volume of mens, even amenorrhea, dizziness, numbness of limbs. For gallbladder, when the bile dispersion being disturbed, they will manifest as bitter taste in the mouth, jaundice, and also will affect the emotions. Symptoms are well followed as timidity, palpitation, insomnia. The last group is the kidney urine blood system. The location of them is low back, genital and anus, and ear are the openings of kidney. And it also governs the bone, brain, and marrow. Here also reflects the condition of kidney. As the root of yin and yang for human body, kidney holding the random qi, produce the essence, and in charge of reproduction. Also, it is the lower organ for water metabolism. So the abnormal manifestation will reflect in failure to storing the essence and abnormality of growth, development, and reproduction. Defecation and urination and water issues those aspects. According to the natures of kidney, so it mainly manifested as the deficiency syndrome, which includes the yang deficiency, yin deficiency, essence and qi deficiency. But for urine blood, the damp heat is the main cause for it, which leads to excess syndrome. That's all about the Zangfu Syndrome Differentiation. Maybe you will feel a little bit headache to remember so many informations. Let's simple it and give you several tips. First, you should totally master in normal functions of each zang and fu, familiar with all the related orifice, the corresponding area, location, those things. Second, analyze the zangfu relationship based on the qi, blood, body fluid mechanism. That is from the product to search the root. Third, try to figure out the difference between excess and deficiency, and by the pulse, tongue, and pathogen's nature are the keys. Third, try to figure out the differences between excess, deficiency, and the pulse, tongue, pathogen's nature are the keys. Besides the simple Zangfu syndrome differentiation, there also exists a co-current syndrome differentiation of Zangfu, which should analyze it based on the 5 elements, yin-yang, exterior, interior, those aspects. That's the constructional introduction of Zangfu syndrome, like the skeleton structure. So you need to read a book and add the bricks by yourself, and try to build a holistic view. So much for today. Thanks.